Holy Kodesh, preachers in every place, preacher, teacher, living. It's Kodesh word. I was to beloved ministers that labor in this part of Vineyard, whom I'm not ashamed to call brethren. Kodesh greetings to them in their respective places. Always to those that are watching by way of live internet, to the dispersed, to the scattered, to the Jews first, then also to the Gentiles. Proper honor you all in your respective places. As we often say last, never least, to the way of Yah synagogue.
Amen.
Proper honor y'all in your respective places. Amen. Once again, from TV, internet, radio, wherever our voice can be heard, wherever we can be seen. Before we came on, had nothing come on. When we go out, absolutely ain't nothing else coming on. They're not teaching Kodesh, living a clean, sanctified life. The people ain't in nothing, and they hadn't heard nothing. This is an attempt
to collect the debt.
To collect the debt. Whatever you hypocrite, false pretend, backbite, mumbling, grumbling against will be used in that collection of a debt. These messages are always being recorded for quality assurance and make sure no side deals get cut with nobody. But everybody got to come in, Brother Red.
By the door.
Straight, narrow path. Isn't that right?
Amen.
Amen.
All right. Let's see if we can give me 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 1. Lord, when ain't going to be before y'all long. Just talk with y'all a little bit. Wonderful Savior. I know some of y'all going to fall out on me after a while. But thank the Lord anyhow. You to have a song like Hallelujah anyhow. Y'all hear the song? Hallelujah anyhow. Don't let your worries get you down. Y'all remember? When Satan's on your track, what you supposed to do? No, they ain't Eddie Long. Y'all saying the wrong song. They don't get him off here. I let them get him off. Not Eddie Long. That's the same thing. It might be Eddie Long. The devil, Eddie Long, same thing, isn't it? It's just on your back. Eddie Long, I like that song. Man, what you say, Eddie? Eddie said, just roll with it. Anyway, I don't know what any of this means. All right, 1 Thessalonians 5 and 1. Listen to the book.
But of the times and the seasons.
But of the time and the seasons.
Brethren.
Ye
have no need that I write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night.
Well, when we come here and we assemble ourselves for the new moons and the Sabbath, all these different things we got because of our law in Genesis. Pick me up at Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 1 about verse 12. Genesis 1 and 12. Listen to the book.
And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind.
Yeah.
And the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself, after his kind. And God saw that it was good.
Yeah.
And the evening and the morning were the third day.
Come on.
And God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night.
And this is how we came into creation ourselves. We look at the third day. So we find the third day premises concerning the Lord Jesus resurrected is when other lights were created. So we can see the importance of why he had to go down, stay down 3 days and come back up in the third day. We can see what the Lord created for us, don't we? That's why he created other lights in the firmaments. That's what we consider ourselves. Now we become the sons of light. Listen.
And let them be for signs.
Let them be for signs.
And for seasons.
And for seasons.
And for days.
And for days.
And years.
And for years. That's why we come and we keep these times. And we keep the regular rituals as they've been given to us, then we start to see a pattern of the coming of Christ. When we start seeing all these different things, how they begin to happen, how they begin to come to pass for us, we start to recognize the coming of Christ. We look at the creation of Christ in the beginning, how it was void and it was nothing. Same way we find ourselves. In the beginning we were nothing, unformed, and then the Spirit of the Most High God moved upon the face of the deep. Then we find creation when the sun was created. Then we find out through the sun becoming created, he created other lights, and then the creation of man. Now we come along, we look to be transformed into the sons of light. Isn't that right? That's why we're here. And being light, then a lot of these things that we see coming to pass, they all come to pass from the light. The sun gives us our days, the moon rules by night, right? They say the closer the earth revolves or go around, however they try to put it together, the closer the earth, they say, gets to the sun, then we know it's becoming what season? Summer. Then the further away they claim it goes away, what happened? Then the winter. All these things are controlled by the sun. Well, now we start looking at these other things that begin to happen now, right? The further the distance from their scientific evaluation, the further the sun gets away, it gets colder. Ain't that right? Light become more dense. Ain't that right? Our days become shorter. Well, then we start to look at the operation of us as being the people of God. What's the problem now why we find God so far? Let's see what happened right here. Pick me up, if you would, at the 4th chapter of the book of Deuteronomy. Y'all all right?
Amen.
Something to consider. That's why we come here to be taught. Because it's written in the prophet that they shall all be taught of God. Every man, therefore, that had heard and had learned of the Father, coming unto me. Listen, this is Genesis chapter 4. Pick me up about verse 5. Make it 4 and 4. Deuteronomy 4 and 4. Listen.
But ye that did cleave unto the Lord your God
are what?
Alive, every one of you this day.
All are alive, every one of you this day.
Behold,
I
have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
And when we find this, we find a premise here when it come down to the Son. The Son began to tell us about how he can do nothing of himself, but as his Father had taught him. Well, now we look at the Lord commanding him to, what did the Lord command?
The Lord my God commanded me that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
What did the Lord command Moses to do?
Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments.
The Lord did what?
Even as the Lord my God commanded me.
He said, I taught you what? Statutes?
And judgment.
And judgment.
Even as the Lord my God commanded me.
That's what we look at. We look at and we consider the Son of God. He was taught. Isn't that right? He couldn't do nothing. He said he could do nothing of his own, sir, as the Father have taught me. Then we begin to see how the Son operated by the commandment of the Father, which was the Word. Now we start to look at us. What becomes to be the problem? He said, the Lord have commanded me to teach you laws and statutes. If we have done these things, then God should be closer to us. Listen.
That ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Listen.
Keep therefore and do them.
This is your what?
But this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nation.
In the sight of the nation. What are they going to say, Andre?
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
And what about them?
For what nation is there so great?
And have what?
Who hath God so nigh unto them?
So they've drawn closer to God. Or should we say God is drawing closer to us? By that scientific evaluation, again, the sun gets closer, or the earth becomes closer to the sun to create a summer or heating and more light. Isn't that right? Light continue to be longer. Then we have to look at our whole self in a similitude as what they put themselves on a scientific graph of saying what the sun and the earth does, right? Then we got to become closer to God. Ain't that right? You want more light, then you're going to have to get closer. And the only way you get closer to God is to translate into the sons of God. And translating into the sons of God is only going to happen through the operation of hearing the word. Ain't that right? The Bible even tells us, but be ye transformed by the what? That's why we're here to get information. When you guys sleep, dazing off, doing other stuff you're doing, then you're losing some valuable information you need in order to be translated into the sons of God. That's what we got to do. Then we got to look at what dwelt with the sun, other lights. Darkness does not dwell with the sun. They have no communion. Pick me up at 2 Corinthians chapter 6. Second Corinthians chapter 6. Give me about verse 11. Make it verse 9. Let's see what it says. 2 Corinthians chapter 6 at verse 9. Listen to the book.
As unknown and yet well known.
Yes.
As dying, and behold, we live.
Come on.
As chastened and not killed.
Come on.
As sorrowful, yet always rejoicing.
Come on.
As poor, yet making many rich.
Listen.
As having nothing, and yet possessing all things.
Yeah.
O ye Corinthians, our mouth is open unto you.
Come on.
Our heart is enlarged.
Come on.
Ye are not straitened in us, but ye are straitened in your own bowels.
That's right.
Now for a recompense in the same, I speak as unto my children, be ye also enlarged.
Come on.
Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers.
Listen how.
For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness?
That's what we got to consider. And a lot of our hindrance, we come in, we read back through some of these things that we've heard, we've been taught before, and we go back and reevaluate. We can find some of our shortcomings why we don't possess the Spirit. What fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? Come on.
And what communion hath light with darkness?
What communion? In Genesis, when it was dark, there was no light. And once the Most High God said, let there be light, that was it. He said, and there was light. There was no hesitation. There was no reservation. At the command of God, it obeyed. Everything obeyed God but man. Mm-hmm. Man is the whole cause why we see all these things operating outside the will of God. Isn't that right? That's why we find everything operating outside the will of God. Now, in the mere premise that we come together for the Sabbath, when we come together for the Sabbath, what do we represent? Ending of a week. That's how we end the week out. That's the last day. Remember the Sabbath day. Isn't that right? And keep it Kodesh. That's the last day of the week. When the sun goes up and down, we recognize a day. Then we get to our weeks. Now we're here for the new moons that we can recognize a month. Isn't that right? That's how we start to know times and seasons. Now, when Paul began to speak to us here in the book of 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, he said, of the time and season, brethren, you have no need that I shall write unto you. For yourselves know perfectly well that the day of the Lord is so coming as a thief in the what?
Night.
Which will take us back to what season? What time? Or what particular time it take us back to? Well, take us back to, well, we know that season come on, but in fact, he said that as a thief in the night, we will go back to recognize something. Let's see what happened in the book of St. John, chapter 1 and verse 1. Let's see what John happened. Let's see what John testified to. Other brother, see that Luke chapter 12 for me about verse 37. Wonderful Savior.
Amen.
This is John's record. This is John chapter 1 at verse 1. Listen to the book.
In the beginning was the Word.
And when we find Genesis, it said in the beginning. Who did it go to next?
And the Word was with...
It said God, doesn't it? Or we know what translation? Elohim. Well, translation now is going to be what they put God. They try to translate and just put God. They won't ever recognize him for who he was. Isn't that right? In the beginning was Elohim. Now he tells us in the beginning was the what?
Word.
Same thing. And what was the Word?
Was with God.
So did John say anything different than Genesis?
No.
And what was the Word?
Was God.
Because what he spake, it came into existence as he is. Isn't that right? At the command of God. Listen.
The same was in the beginning with God.
He testified. So the Son, when he gave the testimony how he was with the Father and brought up with the Father, his record is true even by John's account. Mm-hmm. Isn't that right? In the 8th chapter of the book of Proverbs, according to Solomon's writing, he said he was one beside him, is one brought up with him. You know, he said, we growed up together. Now, if there's a large difference in our age group, we can't say we've grown up, typically say together. Isn't that right? Around the same time we kind of came up, but there's a difference in age. But when he testified in Proverbs, he said, I was just like one brought up with him. When he started, that's when I was there. You go back to count, how old is he? Same age he is. I couldn't even give you the number because you couldn't calculate if I gave it to you. Listen to it.
All things were made by him.
And without him
was not anything made that was made.
Listen.
In him was life.
And life
was the light of men.
And he breathed inside of man, and man became what? And what did he put inside of man? Right here, breath. When we find him, we find light. So what he created in the firmaments will tie into us. He said in him, we know we translate life because of what we are, but now he's telling us that life came from light. In him, did it say life?
In him was life.
Well, when we find in Genesis, the 1st chapter, and we get out into about the 13th verse, the Bible told you how the other lights were created from the sun. All things were made by him, and without him was not any. There was no light, nothing created without the sun. In creation, when he put this together, the sun came in. When the sun came, he started to put things together. Everything stemmed out from the sun. In him was light. So that light that came into the world came from the Father. Listen.
And the life was the light of men.
And the light was the life of men. So all it takes for you to die is take the light out. Now we come into Christ, we look at becoming illuminated. So there's something inside of us should sense certain things. Isn't that right? Especially we should sense light since we came from light. We should be able to sense and detect God since we came from God. Man did not evolve from himself. Listen.
And the light shineth in darkness.
And what did darkness do?
Comprehended it not.
As a thief in the night. When else? Typically now you'll find periodically thieves now, you know, they come in. They typically in time past they will come in at night. Because at that point you sleep. A lot of times you're in a darkened state. And they feel more comfortable coming and working in the same attributes that they actually are. They're darkness, so it's easy for them to come in during the dark, right? Even with roaches, very few light white creatures that come in the dark. And usually they're going to counter their color scheme or more or less kind of work with the dark. Nobody's going to come break some house with an all-white jumpsuit on. Isn't that right? With some white pro-kids on. There's a great chance you're going to be detected in the night, right? So a thief is going to start to dress like it, but we find him testifying to be as a thief in the night because when he appears, it's going to be on you so quick before you knew what happened. When he appeared in the world and he set the world up, the world hadn't seen light. The world hadn't known light. Light just appeared on it. Came on it. Basically, he came on us like a thief. We weren't expecting it. And that's what we look at now. But now since we hear the word, there should become an alertness about us. There should be something we start to see the things he set for us, like we was told how we learned from the months, from the days, these different things he said. We're going to say they're going to let them be for days, let them be for weeks, let them be for months, and let them be for years. So in the mere fact that we keep these things, this is how we know festive days. This is how we start to learn him and start to correlate him with these festive days. Now we start seeing the behavior, the things that's going on around us. We should detect that he's coming back again. We missed that. We missed that. When it came, this is Luke chapter 12 and verse 37. Other brother, you said that the 24th chapter of the book of Matthew right quick. Y'all all right?
Amen.
I ain't going to try to hold y'all long. We need the way of y'all synagogue. We got to get this right. Let me tell y'all something. A lot of people are watching us. Believe it or not, we get a lot. And I mean, it ain't nothing new. I've been knowing that for a long time. A lot of people sitting around and listening and watching. And what you guys are sitting here and you taking lightly and hadn't really laid the heart, what's been given to you, the knowledge and information, just even the transformations we made. It's one thing to walk into something already there. But a lot of you guys have been here in the creation of it. You might not have been there when we started in the living room, but you watched us transform from Sunday to Sabbath. You watched us transition just from Sabbath to feast day. You watched us transform over into not eating pork, now transforming into getting rid of the words holy, transforming from the word church to synagogue, to change it, using more of his name as Yeshua. And there's going to be other transformations. It's kind of like creation. Isn't that right? And some people are not going to be able to tolerate a being because they're going to be just like darkness. You can't comprehend it. Mm-hmm. See, the people that can't, it's simply because you're darkness.
No light.
Right.
So what did darkness do when the sun came? Yeah, I'm pulling out. I got to go. Mm-hmm. This ain't what I want to do. No. What darkness did? Darkness pulled out.
That's right.
Darkness was looking at, we ain't used to do that. It used to be like this and all of a sudden. But see, for us, we should recognize change. Simply because we come on the scene, that put people it makes an indifference for people. Listen to the 24th chapter of the book of Matthew. At verse 1. Listen.
And Jesus went out and departed from the temple.
Come on.
And his disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple.
And what happened, son?
And Jesus said unto them,
see you what?
Not all these things.
There shall not be what?
Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another.
There shall not
be thrown down.
Listen.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying,
What could they possibly ask him?
Tell us, when shall these things be?
When shall these things be?
And what shall be the sign of thy coming?
What shall be the signs of thy coming?
And of the end of the world?
They want to know. They knew if this man coming, it's got to be a halt. It's got to be a halt when he come back here. Everything's got to stop. So when you come back, we can already know. We just want to know when exactly you come back. We know that's going to be the end of all things. We should know that. Huh? We should know that. So then we got to start recognizing some of the things like we do now. We recognize the new moon. We realize no light. No light. Slithers start to come in. After that, you start to see more of it till it come to a fullness. After that, you see it start to diminish and go back again. We know it can't continue to do that. There's going to come a day where his kingdom is going to be established, where he said there's going to be no need of the sun, nor the moon to shine in it. For the glory of the Lord did lighten. That's what Paul saw. Evidently, when he started to testify, when he seen it, I seen a brightness above the sun. He had to see the glory. Mm-hmm. Huh? And the glory of God would be who? Got to be the sun. That's right. Got to be the Lamb. When he told us in the book of Philippians that God had highly exalted and given him a name that which is above every name, that name every knee going to do what? Wow. Every tongue going to confess that Yeshua the Messiah is Lord to the who?
Glory of the Father.
Going to have to give it. Paul said the glory of God. What is going to happen when you see it? You can't help but to be changed. Mm. The glory of God come in and actually show that what you thought was light wasn't light. Isn't that right? When it appeared, Paul, I've been blind. Mm-hmm. He had to anoint my eyes. I mean, he's seen something that set above the operation of what we do now. And a lot of times that scares people. People are afraid of what works systematically outside of what they've been accustomed to. You've been using this light so long, then all of a sudden another light comes in, and you find out, I've been in darkness.
Mm. Yep.
Somebody got to take me and lead me by the hand. I've been in darkness. Isn't that right? So we come in, what seems like it might be insignificant, even for out of time, and people say, well, I can't make this, I can't make that, or whatever. But yet he coming on and told us, don't let no man judge you in these things. In the Sabbath days or the new moons. Mm-hmm. Or in our festive day. He said these things are shadow things to come. We sit in his kingdom. What you think going to happen? We got the glory of the sun where every other light stems from.
That's right.
That's what we come here to get, to the root of the matter.
That's right.
Amen.
Folks, I told y'all on many occasions, sin is an incurable sickness. He told you don't have no healing medicine. Everything we get got to come from God.
That's right.
Wow. Wow. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. The one thing to make sure we clean ourselves up. To learn exactly who we got to be at this man appearance, what manner of person. He said we ought to be in all manner of conversation. In our behavior. In our productivity. That's what we consider. That's why we're here. Listen.
And Jesus answered and said unto them,
yeah.
Take heed that no man deceive you.
Take heed that no man deceive you.
For many shall come in my name,
yeah,
saying, I am Christ.
Come on.
And shall deceive many.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars.
Yeah.
See that ye be not troubled.
Why?
For all these things must come to pass.
Listen.
But the end is not yet.
Come on.
For nation shall rise against nation.
That's amazing. I wonder who Ukraine fighting. Who they fighting? England? And Egypt fighting Pakistan? Who? Confused. All these different countries, I don't see all these people uprising. All these countries, it's not the fight. Listen, nobody even talk about the war on Afghanistan right now, Iraq. It's too many, it's too much infighting. Mm-hmm. But he told her, don't let this trouble you. This is just the beginning. So as we learn how to watch and we come here to set, it's prepared us to watch to see these are the seasons, these are the times. Ain't no need, we need somebody to come in and write and send us a letter, let us know what time it is. Hold what you got. Let's see what he told us right here in the 13th chapter of the book of Romans. Romans 13 and 11. Y'all all right tonight?
Amen.
Amen.
I was telling the ministers, I said, I'm going to start letting them preach. I'm getting old. I'm getting old and rusty. I ain't the man I used to be. But thank the Lord. Ain't that right?
All right.
Thank the Lord. Now, I got some good young men back there. If I tell my wife, I said, my goal, my desire, we'll establish more of these synagogues because people got to be taught.
Right.
Ain't that right? It definitely ain't to put it in disregard against you guys. There's some people out here who want to be saved.
Yeah.
It is. There's a lot of people watching different countries. You know it's bad when people got to watch us over on the other side of the world. You know what I'm saying? That says a whole lot that ain't a whole lot of truth. There's some people out here and there's a lot of information. There's a lot of information out here. But the information people can't get the root of is how to live clean. Man, there's some people, they can speak Hebrew, Baptist, and Aramaic. You ask them how many wives you supposed to get by smoking and cussing? Oh, man, so the white man fooled you, huh? So you bought the white man lie, you only supposed to have one wife. That's amazing. Ain't that right? The more the white man look and build leadership by the hands of a Hebrew.
Yep.
That's right.
Ain't that more of his cigarette lead by the hand? They ain't making their own cigarettes, own brew, is they? They buy it from the liquor store. I mean, that look real bad. I'm buying here looking and saying, he trying to kill us. Yeah, that's exactly what the problem is. Doing a mighty fine job, too. You're doing it to your own selves. Isn't that right? Let me tell you something. That's a big thing. You might not believe it. There's a lot of people that fear y'all. Y'all a threat to a lot of people. A lot of people want a hand in on our transformation. A lot of people want to be able to associate this as, yeah, I helped those Smith and them on there. Yeah, they were lost. Yeah, we all saying the same thing. All of them say that. They all say, Dexter dealt one on it. Don't we say the same thing. Then they slip. What they slip and do, Dexter? Start cussing. It never fails. You just stay along. It come out. And it start coming out. Isn't that right? Little sister accidentally get touched. So how her breasts fell in my hand.
Have mercy.
It never fails. A lot of people don't want clean. Clean living hard for people. Oh, you start asking about prophecy? Oh, they can start writing stuff on the wall. Don't even look at it. Ask about that whole mind. Come down like jaw and fella. What you talking about? Mm-hmm. Listen.
Romans 13:11.
Listen.
And that knowing the time.
Who would he be talking to?
People who know.
And knowing the time. The high time it is what?
That now it is high time to awake out of sleep.
For what?
Now is our salvation nearer than when we believed.
So as they say scientifically, the earth gotten closer. It's nearer. It's closer. And listen what happened.
The night is far spent.
Oh, my goodness. It's been dark a long time. What happened?
The day is at hand.
It's getting close. It's time for the appearance. Let us do what?
Therefore, cast off the works of darkness.
And do what?
Let us put on the armor of light.
Oh, we got to change our uniforms. We don't play for that team anymore. That's what we learn. When light appears, it don't matter how long you've been. Night considered, I don't think you should have came. I don't think it's time yet. Kind of like they did in Haggai when they came to the building of the house of the Lord. They say it ain't time. Darkness don't have that. Darkness don't have that type of control when the sun comes. Isn't that right? Darkness has to change. Isn't that right? Once the sun appears, and when we hear the word, there should be a change with you guys in your behavior. There should be a change in your whole operation because you're hearing light. There's no way that light has enough force or ability to try to block out darkness. It's not possible. When it came down to him being loose, what did it tell us about it? It was not possible that he could be holding to death, which would be what? Darkness. It was not possible. It was simply impossible that darkness could keep light away. That's why he had to get up. It was not possible. You could roll a stone or whatever you need to do to try to block. It's just not possible. Light is strong. Even by their science, they'll testify. 400 times further away from the moon, yet it reflects more light, yet it generates more heat. It's larger. That's why God is bigger than us. Ain't that right? What it come out is bigger than us. Huh? He even talked about, we see the evidence when Paul talked about it. He said more honor bestowed upon the builder than the building. It only makes sense. When you look at it, you say, who built? Then you have to go back and start thinking about who put this thing together. That's right. What kind of mind built and designed this? Then you got to look at us. What kind of mind can put together a human being? They ain't got a machine can build a man. They ain't got nothing. Every time they operate outside, it never works.
That's right.
The one thing the devil can't do, he just like a sissy. He can't make no man.
That's right.
He got to turn one. The devil's a sissy.
Yep. That's right.
A sissy can't reproduce.
That's right.
That's just honor. He can't make a man. With all he got, with all the works and tricks he got, he just can't make a man. He cannot make a man. Got to come from God.
That's right.
That's right.
Listen to the book.
Let us walk honestly.
As in what?
The day.
Listen, as in the day. So we back to the light.
That's right.
Back to where we were created from. In the book of Matthew, the 5th chapter, where did he tell us we was, brother? Where light come from? All light stem from where? Let's see what the book tells us. First John, chapter 1. All light come from where? All light come from where? The sun. Listen, this is First Epistle of John, chapter 1 at verse 1. Listen to the book.
That which was from the beginning.
That which is from in the beginning was the what?
Word.
And what was the word?
With God.
And the word was where?
Was God.
The same was where?
In the beginning.
In the beginning with who? All things were made by who? Why didn't it say them? It said him. So you can go and you try to make two if you want to, but he can right back to him. All things were made by, if there's two God, and one of them was sent back, one of them was above. I'm not going to keep saying me and Justin did and Justin ain't did. I'm saying I did, Justin ain't did nothing. Now we did together, I'm saying all things me and Justin did it. Or me and Ryan did, or me and Sam or Darryl. But if I said I did it, how y'all going to go count? What he meant was him and one of them. That's not the statement I made. All things were made by him, and without them was not anything made.
That was made.
In them was the what?
Might have mean.
When we go back and look, he said, let us. He went back then and said, who did it? Elohim. Who breathed into his nostril? Until Elohim breathed, and he became a what? Became a living soul. I gave him light. He became light. Come on, listen to the book. Which was from the beginning.
Which we have heard.
And what else?
Which we have seen.
What your hands do? And what your hands do, son?
Which we have looked upon.
And did what?
Our hands have handled.
Thank God. That's testifying to who? When other time they don't have their hands on God? Man said, we done handled it. Man tried to tell him one time, touch me not. What was he telling them? Don't do what? He told them, don't cling to me. Because I ain't going to be here long. You start, oh man, we made it. He said, it best don't cling to me. Because I ain't left yet. When I come back, you can hold on, I'm going to be back. When somebody get ready to leave, sometimes some people know you getting ready to break up. You go meet, just say, how about that? You going some of y'all way if you ever had it. If you ugly, don't even worry about this. This is something you see on TV. But if you get ready to break up with somebody, you don't go there, you let them get a hug. Because they ain't coming here for that. I don't want you getting caught. I'm getting ready to tell them, get ready to break it off. Some other niggas, they happen to me all the time. No, try not to get you stuck. Don't let that be about you. I don't know what this means. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? You know, it's best we don't get into this. Because I'm coming to let you know I'm leaving. So it was better. You probably don't want to try to get the hole and get too close to me right now. Because I have not yet ascended unto my Father. Testifying for us, letting them know when I come back, it'll be the time. If I'm getting ready to go, it's best we don't get into a whole lot. Because I ain't going to be here long.
That's right.
Listen.
Of the word of life.
Of the word of life.
For the life was manifested.
And what happened, son?
We have seen it.
We seen it.
And bear witness, and shew unto you that eternal life, which was with the Father, and was manifested unto us.
The life that was with the Father manifest unto us. Talk to us.
That which we have seen and heard declare we unto you.
Come on.
That ye also may have fellowship with us.
Listen.
And truly our fellowship is with the Father and with his Son, Jesus Christ.
Listen.
And these things write we unto you, that your joy may be full.
Listen.
This then is the message.
What? Talk to me, son.
Which we have heard of him, and declare unto you that God is light.
Now, he was talking about light. When he talking about L-I-F-E, how did he go over to light? We were talking about, when he talking about life?
Amen.
He was talking about existent life. So life translates for us to be light, because light illuminates. Light makes clear. He told us whatsoever make manifest is what?
Light.
Oh, we'll say life. Life evident, something dead don't exist. That's how we look at dark. It has no existence. It really hasn't existed in it. So we're looking at something that exists, life, light. That's what was from the beginning, that which we've heard, that we done declared unto you. And as a matter of fact, this is the message that God is who? Light. So this testified that the Son had to be God. Had to be God. That's right. Right here, John, because I mean, he done talked about life, the Father, he kept talking about life. Then he went down and said, matter of fact, let's just go and conclude this thing. This is the message. God is light. God is light. Mm-hmm. And in him
is no darkness at all.
Neither.
If we say that we have fellowship with him,
come on,
and walk in darkness, we lie and do not the truth.
Couldn't work. Not if God is light. Not if God is light. Not if God is light. Isn't that right?
Amen.
So now we got to start sitting back and we got to start looking at how we operate, how we think. What do we actually demonstrate? He's given us an ability and an opportunity to exist as people. And he's given a word that come in to get us to exist at being in the image of God. And that would make us be his sons. Because we've been begotten of light. Isn't that right? So we got an opportunity to manifest and be light. We don't overshadow. We learn we come in and compliment. Almost nothing more beautiful when you see that moon than you see them stars with it. They come to compliment. He'll leave something to rule while he's gone away until he come back. And that's what he did with us. He knew the world was going to be dim. What's going to happen when you take the sun out of it? But he left some light in here. Left a moon, left some stars, didn't he? That's when we come in for representation, letting these people know we're supposed to operate according to the moon. That's how we set up our festive times and gatherings. Because these moons have some control. Let's see what happened in the book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 1. This is the Revelation chapter 22 at verse 1. Listen to the book.
And he shewed me a pure river of water of life.
Yeah.
Clear as crystal.
Clear as crystal.
Proceeding out of the throne of God.
Proceeding out of the throne of God.
And of the Lamb.
And of the who?
The Lamb.
Listen.
In the midst of the street of it.
What was it, son?
And on either side of the river.
What was it?
Was there the tree of life.
Talk to me, son.
Which bare 12 manner of fruits.
And what does it do, son?
And yielded her fruit every month.
Every what?
Every month.
Can't get a month without a new moon.
That's right.
So what do we find? If everything stemmed out from the sun, he's going to show us when he's there, these operations still work, and they always work because of him. That's what he's trying to tell us here. How would you got? 21st chapter, book of Revelation. Give me about verse 26. Let me see what it says. Listen to the book.
And they shall bring the glory and honor of the nations.
So bring me up about verse 24. Revelation 21:24. He still got me there at 22 and about verse 2. I think he left off for 3. Listen.
And the nations of them which are saved shall walk in the light of it.
So bring me up to about verse. Okay, come on. Make it 22. Make it 21. They're getting too smart. Come on. I told y'all I'm getting old. Listen.
And the 12 gates were 12 pearls.
12 pearl.
Every several gate was of one pearl.
Every several gate was of one pearl.
And the street of the city was pure gold.
What was on those gates, brother? That's right, the name of the tribes. That's how everybody knew where they were going to go in at. Ezekiel told us that. What names were on every gate. So everybody knowing what gate they were going into, still leading to the city. Yeah. But every gate, every one of those 12 gates, you know what's amazing about it? How we had these 12 months. Just show you how we even tie into the constellations. Isn't that right? Then you look at the 13, well, you look at 12 apostles, one was added. We get a 13 month too, don't we?
Yeah.
Isn't that right? We tie into the constellations. Listen.
And the street of the city was pure gold.
Listen.
As it were transparent glass.
Yeah.
And I saw no temple therein.
Listen.
For the Lord God Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it.
So that's when we find when Isaiah began to ask us, the heaven is my throne, the earth is my footstool. He wanted to know something, brother. What was it?
How's she gonna do it for me?
Well, how he said, see, now have not my hand made all these things. Then he told us something. What was it, brother? To this man, will I what? I'm going to look to him. Him that's of a what? Contrite spirit. That's right. I'm going to look to this man. That's the temple. See, that's what the Lord was looking for. He was looking for a man to make up the head, to stand well. For the who? For the city. Or for the people that I should not destroy. I just couldn't find one. Hard to find a man that could dwell in. Hard to find a man. What Solomon set up was just a premise. That's why the song let him know everything got to come down when I come back. This way you dwell in that till I get back here. Ain't going to be one stone left upon another, ain't going to be thrown down. What you think will happen when I come? I'm going to show you when I come back, everything is darkness. They tell you look at the sun too long to blind you. When he appeared on the scene, Paul was blind. He said, you ain't never seen no sun.
That's right.
You ain't never seen no sun I came back. All these premises of what we saw, how these things are set up. Listen what he's telling us in Revelation. 21, where you at, 25?
23.
Listen.
And the city had no need of the sun.
They had no need of the who?
The sun.
So you telling me you sure wasn't there? Oh, what else, son?
Neither of the moon.
Neither of the what?
The moon.
How what you got now? When you finish that up, you're going to have to still go back to 22 and 1. You said that to Genesis chapter 1 and about verse 13. See, these stupid people think we come together because we actually trying to give reverence or homage to this regular moon. We come in giving homage to what he commanded us to do. He said, don't let these folk come in and judge you. Tell me, we don't do. We just long. We keep like 7-day event. It ain't nothing. Translated what? Early Sunday morning worship.
All right.
You beat the other Christian down. Because you trade, this is the part what gets you when you find these people. Go back to look at what you got, where it originated from. They don't go back and say, well, look at you weren't Jews to here, you weren't here. Our promise and coming who we came out with here in the beginning. And what we got came from the Word, and the Word was here in the beginning. Isn't that right? That was with the Father. He came out through the same tribe that he's established, that we come along, we say we are Jew from Yehuda.
That's right.
Isn't that right? We had a covenant that was told, our father Jacob sat there and told the scepter was not going to depart from them.
That's right.
Not from Yehuda, nor a lawgiver from between their feet until Shiloh come.
That's right.
They ain't going to come to end. He shall give up all rule and reign, and he going to give it back over to the Father. That God may be what?
All in all.
All in all. All in all, going right back short, back to one eternal spirit.
That's right.
They testify to 2 and 3 when they find an operator, come back to say, him. I don't want you to get twisted. Every time say, them, us, them, come back. Him. Come right back to the same place. Him. Because he's going to be all in all. Listen. This is Genesis chapter 1 at verse 13. Listen.
And the evening and the morning were the third day.
Yes.
And God said that there be lights in the firmament.
And what happened, son?
Of the heaven to divide the day from the night.
Yeah.
And let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years.
So what else we got them for? Now we're looking at the sun and all these different things going to be for. What are they going to be for, son?
Let them be for signs.
For signs.
And for seasons.
And for seasons.
And for days.
And for days.
And years.
Come on back to this 21st chapter of the book of Revelation. Revelation chapter 21. At verse 23. Don't be scared of that L now. Listen.
And the city had no need of the sun,
yeah,
neither of the moon,
yeah,
to shine in it.
So that got right there. Ain't no way in the world no tree can blossom and grow. Ain't no way they can grow. It would make sense. Look at Revelation 22. 22 and 2. He can hold both of those, can't you, Brandon?
Amen.
He got 21, 23, and it's 22 and 22 and verse 2. Listen.
In the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, was there the tree of life,
yeah,
which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month.
How you going to do that without the moon? How you going to do that in the kingdom? He just told you in the 21st chapter, ain't no moon now. It ain't got a sun. It don't stop God, because everything that's still out came from God. He told you already, it's seed in itself.
That's right.
It came out from him. He still got the ability.
That's right.
That's what he told us first in the 12th verse, it's seed in itself. Ain't that been operating off of what man said? All these things were set up for us, for Jews, his people, Israel. We would look at these things we should know. That was at a time and season. You don't have no need of Sharon. You know perfectly well. We know that the day of the Lord coming, just like a thief in the night. We know he coming. In the beginning, we knew the sun came out from darkness. Isn't that right? While he was in the grave, when he got up? While it was yet dark. It was dawning toward the first day of the week. He was getting up when he sat up on the grave. It had to be dark. He was shining.
That's right.
It had to be dark while he was up there. The sun was shining. Wow. That's why Paul talked about in the 3rd chapter of the book of Galatians. What did he call them? Oh, foolish who? What? Who have bewitched you? I wish you might try to turn and read that. I'm watching you rhyme from over here. Who have bewitched you what? What happened? Who have did what? Who have heed you? What does a heed you? Who had hindered you that you should not obey the truth? Galatians 3 and 1. Let's see what they saw. Galatians 3 and 1. Oh, foolish Galatians, who has hindered you that you should not obey the truth. Listen, Galatians 3 and 1. Galatians 3 and 1, listen.
Oh, foolish Galatians.
Who have bewitched you?
That ye should not obey the truth.
Yes.
Before whose eyes Jesus Christ has been evidently set forth, crucified among you.
So they seen the sun. They seen the sun. That's light for us. That's light for us. That's what we hear testifying, that God is light. In our behavior, when we operate outside of sin, then we testify that God is true. Even John told, he said, you set to your seal. That's the engraving for us. The mere fact we have light, that's our engraving. That's our signet. The mere fact showing we bear light, that we stemmed out from the sun. In the 7th chapter of the book of, pick up the 7th chapter of the book of Matthew. Matthew 7 and about 17. I don't want y'all thinking, I just appear like people, well, you know, I ain't gonna make new moon. I just be that Wednesday night. Let me tell y'all something, folks. As late as they getting right now, you can't afford to miss a service. Right. I'm just being flat-footed. And I know people that, you right, Pastor, I'm going to start. I ain't saying that I ain't been saying. When I told y'all you can afford, what message y'all got out so you can afford to miss a service? So when all of a sudden when I say certain things, people talking about, I heard you. You were saying we don't need to stop missing service. When I ever told you to start? I ain't never taught y'all that. It's just we get ourselves consumed with so much stuff and we forget what our command is. That's what he said.
Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit.
What verse is 17?
Yes, sir.
Give me 15. Listen.
Beware of false prophets.
For what happened, son?
Which come to you in sheep's clothing.
But underneath?
They are ravening wolves.
Listen.
Ye shall know them by their fruits.
Listen.
Do men gather grapes of thorns?
Or what else?
Figs of thistles.
Yeah.
Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit.
Because its seed is well.
In itself.
In itself. Come on.
But a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit.
A corrupt tree bring forth what?
Evil fruit.
Listen.
A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit.
It couldn't because it's seed in itself. And you stemmed out from the Father, ain't no way in the world you could be a corrupt seed.
That's right.
Even what we learned, when he learned to teach us that, we already knew that by farming. There were certain things you could do years ago if you had a tree. I sometimes refer to the older people. Y'all know about trees and fruit trees, mothers. And I can tell y'all familiar with trees, fruit trees. They had a thing years ago. You had a tree that had a lot of worms in the apples or in it. A lot of times they would bury potash around it. Mm-hmm. They'll kind of keep the worms out from it. There's a lot of things you learn how to do, how you can break a tree. Certain things worms not going to try to go through. They won't travel. It's just different stuff you could do. They have old sayings you could do. You could lay a rope down and a snake won't cross it. Snakes don't cross other snakes. It's old things people learn how to do to try to come along and correct old behaviors. So you see us a bad behavior, you learn how to bury potash around it and then keep them away from the tree. You got squirrels, they like to climb up a tree and get your nuts. All you do is take you some tin and nail it around and just tap it around. You know about that, don't you? You just put that tin around there, their nails can't go inside tin, so they can't climb your tree. I'm a young man with an old man spirit, though. I've been around a little while. This might not be my first time here. Look like I done seen some of y'all before. But there are things you do. Well, come along with the word. That's what he come along to do with us here. When we let the word sink deep in our heart, then it takes other things out from among us. So he let us know how no good tree can bring forth corrupt fruit. Listen.
Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit.
Even when now what we start learning how to do. Certain things we had to let die out. We learned it. Even when we came into the land, we couldn't eat the fruit at the first. We had to let it die out. Isn't that right? We just had to let it die out. There's certain things we realized wasn't good for consumption at the first. Even when it came down to us being a people. He told us about a bastard, what they couldn't do. Mm-hmm. How long? It's about the 10th generation. You know what you had to do? You had to let that bad seed bear out. You had to let it wild. A lot of us come out from bastard situations. A lot of times bastards create other bastards, illegitimate. He looked at, we might not look, he looked at, I got to kill that seed out. He had to let that whole seed just die out before he'll come in and start this. So we came into the land, we couldn't eat them trees we first came in. Had to let it die out. Let things kill out. A lot of these things he set up, they were similitudes of the same thing we do when it come down to life actions. Certain things you got to do, you just got to let it kill out. It's just not good for consumption at the time. A lot of behavior, it takes some time to give. You might look at extreme. It takes a time sometimes. You find people that grown up in, how many grew up in projects in here? How many of them parents were in projects before them or grew up in projects, people that were in projects? See what happens sometimes? That behavior will keep stemming until it finally breaks. Finally, somebody will break the chain and say, no more project for me. A lot of time, project will produce other project type behavior and other project family, and it'll keep consuming itself. So he said, I got to let it die out so I can get a break. When the break come in, then the break start out to say, no, we're going to try to make this legitimate because I know how I was brought up and how things were done. I got to get rid of that cycle. That cycle got to stop. And he had enough sense to know that. The other thing we didn't consider, he realized some things just couldn't come in among the congregation. Isn't that right? Certain things he didn't even want among. Say couldn't even come into the congregation of the Lord. Now we take everything. Anything come. He realized certain things he didn't want. Otherwise, it's going to wind up corrupting some things. That's why he's telling us about wherefore come out from what? And be you what? Separate. He didn't want a bastard in the congregation. Who else he didn't want? Or have his private member? Can't even come in. Somebody said, I think I might cut mine off. It seems funny. Some people don't think. You say, well, he told us be not deceived. Paul told evil communication corrupt good manners. Await the righteous and do what? Await means to the light. That's right. For some have not the what? And when darkness signed, when light signed, what darkness did?
Comprehended it not.
Why you think it didn't comprehend? Didn't have no knowledge of God. I don't have no knowledge of God. I don't know how God works. God be just, he could do it. God could be that wall right there. God could be that pew. You don't know who God is. You darkness. Yep. You have to be darkness. God could be inside that light right now while we talking. That could be God blowing that air. You heard some people don't heard people come to these dumb explanations. There's no way in the world a person with the knowledge of God. Only person talk like that is somebody with darkness. And you know what the sad part? We'll sit around and laugh and giggle when we keep playing. You realize he said, wherefore come out from among and be ye separate. Because you don't. That's what he was trying to teach us in the law when he told about him not coming to the congregation. No, we do. We just find anybody drag. People find any homeless trash and bring it into God. He ain't accepting everything. Everything you can't bring it to God. God don't accept no everything. He ain't never accepted everything. And the sad part, these folk going out here and they parading themselves to look like light, and they telling other dark people in their dark that God will accept them and God will not accept them. No lie. He's called us 2 Corinthians 6:17. Let's see what God accepts. Wonderful Savior.
Amen.
Listen to the book.
Wherefore come out from among them.
And be what?
Be ye separate.
Said who? And do what?
Touch not the unclean thing.
And what you going to do?
I will receive you.
So God just going to take a drunk out the street.
Ain't do.
Liar, cross-dresser, transvestite. God take him. Would that make sense when I just read this? He was telling Israel this. He going to tell somebody else of another nation something less than what he told us. See, that was for the Jews. Back then, the Jews used to be God's people. But then he made them a Christian church. Does that make sense that he told us? Yeah, when Jesus told Paul, he said, what I say unto one, what did he say? I said to everybody. Why would he come and tell a drunk, a homosexual, and a liar, don't worry about it, take you? That wouldn't make common sense. If anything God's going to tell you, he's going to tell you how to come out. You all right, you shacking up right now, but later on, you're going to have to stop it. Ain't no way in the world you're going to tell me God accept you. That's a lie from hell. The command he gave for Israel was for everybody. Wherefore come out from among them and be ye separate, saith who?
The Lord.
And touch not
the unclean thing.
And I'll do what?
We'll receive you.
That's the only way I'll take you. Got cigarettes over your chest, in your pocketbook, marijuana in your ashtray in your car, be in your refrigerator, and still saved on your way to heaven anyhow. But God said, any man come to him, I know why I turn him back. Couldn't have told you that because you've taken a premise of one thing he said. You hadn't even searched the whole scriptures. To know you got to come out. He'll take it if you come out and you be separate. That means you got to leave from that behavior. When light, just like light and darkness do, they don't work together. The closer light get, the more darkness. Every time light walk up on dark, I ain't gonna let you. He ain't finna walk up on me like that. Man, I'm gone. Same thing dark do when light. They bite. They the same way. We're not gonna be able to sit here together. It ain't gonna be able to work. Because you're gonna have a different operation than I do. When darkness came, what the Egyptian did? And you know the sad part is, that's how a lot of y'all do. You have to move out of your place of sin. But the people in Goshen, you can operate in the light. You know what John told to do? Walk in the what? Light. As he is in the what? Light. Then we have what? Fellowship. Got no problem. They weren't going into the darkness. They stayed in the light. He told them, man can work while it's light. You can walk while it's light. They have no reason to sit in one place. When darkness comes, darkness going to hit you, going to hold you back.
That's right.
Separating, it shows just like death. Most people, soon as they that sun going, that's it for me. I know that's what they do. It puts you right there to sleep. That's what darkness will do. It'll kill you. Light comes to give us life. You understand that premise. So, at the time and season, you ain't got no reason nobody come right under you. Y'all know perfectly well that the day of the Lord coming as a thief in the night. Back to Matthew right quick, chapter 24 and about verse 22. Try to get ready to let y'all go. I love this thing.
Amen. All right.
And I love it because it's about learning about him. And I learn more about myself and where I need to be before he come back here.
That's right.
This is the 24th chapter of the book of Matthew, about verse 21. Listen.
For then shall be great tribulation.
Come on.
Such as was not since the beginning of the world.
Nor.
To this time, no, nor ever shall be.
Listen.
And except those days should be shortened.
What's going to happen, son?
There should no flesh be saved.
So the day is going to be short. When the day is short? In the winter time. Wow, that's amazing. Back me up about verse 18. Let me see something. Listen.
Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes.
Yeah.
And woe unto them that are with child.
Yeah.
And to them that give suck in those days.
Why?
But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter.
Oh, y'all already knew this. Stop it. Y'all joshing me. When's the winter time? That's when they tell us. That's when when the sun is shining less. Yeah. There's a distance. It gets cold. It gets darker. Huh? Mm-hmm. What do you sure ask her to do? Don't go back. Let's see what happened on here. Matthew 11:28. Mm-hmm. I mean, but you said with somewhat confident.
11:20.
Kind of remind me of an avalanche truck and a Nissan. That's what it remind me of.
What you call preacher?
Stop yourself. Matthew chapter 11, verse 28. Listen to the book.
Coming to me, all ye that labor.
So you got to draw closer to the sun. Got to draw closer. Listen.
And are of heavy laden, and I will give you rest.
That are. What is that?
Are of heavy. And
listen, are you? And what?
And are. I put an of in there.
Oh, are.
And are heavy laden.
Yeah. I just started reading from the beginning. It sounded bad.
All right.
Listen.
Coming to me, all ye that are labor, that are. Let's get in your truck. Coming to me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden.
Yeah.
And I will give you rest.
Take my what?
Yoke upon you.
And do what?
Learn of me.
That's what we got to do. Learn of me for what?
I am meek and lowly in heart.
And what's going to happen?
And ye shall find rest unto your soul.
That's what we're trying to do. When we find him, he's our rest. He is our rest. Isn't that right? So you can even rest in the light. Isn't that right? Ain't going to be no darkness. Ain't no darkness out. You can rest in the light, believe it or not. Come on back to that 24th chapter of the book of Matthew. Matthew 24, left off at what, 19?
20.
20, listen.
But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter,
nor
on the Sabbath day.
Yeah.
For then shall be great tribulation,
Yeah.
such as was not since the beginning of the world,
Nor.
To this time, no, nor ever shall be.
Come on.
And except those days should be shortened,
Yeah.
there should no flesh be saved.
But listen.
But for the elect's sake,
what's going to happen?
Those days shall be shortened.
We got to be watching. Isn't that right? We got to be watching. You know when we in gathering during the wintertime. And I come on, that's the last hour gathering. Now to shorten the time. In the summertime, the day's not short, they're longer. Y'all good? See, that's why the time and season, y'all ought to know this. You ought to know this. Come on.
Then if any man shall say unto you,
Yeah.
Lo, here is Christ.
What happened, son?
Or there, believe it not.
Listen.
For there shall arise false Christs.
Doing what?
And false prophets.
Doing what?
And shall shew great signs and wonders.
Show great signs and wonders. Come on.
Insomuch that if it were possible,
what would they do?
They shall deceive the very elect.
Listen.
Behold, I have told you before.
So that what happened?
Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert.
What happened?
Go not forth.
Don't go. Come on.
Behold, he is in the secret chambers.
Do what?
Believe it not.
Come on.
For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west,
what happened?
So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Come on.
For wheresoever the carcass is,
there
will the eagles be gathered together.
So what happened?
Immediately after the tribulation of those days,
I'm surprised. Please tell me what happened next.
Shall the sun be darkened.
We haven't seen that before. We've seen that before. Gonna go right back where it's gonna be dark. Immediately after that, it's gonna be, he said the sun gonna be darkened. What's gonna happen, son?
And the moon shall not give her light.
And the moon shall not give her light.
And the stars shall fall from heaven.
Listen.
And the powers of the heavens shall be shaken.
And what's gonna happen?
And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven.
Here it comes. When he appeared the first time, wasn't nothing up him. I don't know where you originate from. You ought to know this, right? Let me tell y'all something. The way of y'all synagogue, listen and watch this sitting here. What y'all do? Everybody married and single, whatever it might be, separated. Y'all better sit here and wake y'all behind up and pay attention and say it yourself. It's too much going on. That man taking us right back. This is what the man asked right quick. 17th chapter of the book of St. John. I'm confused. Let me see what he asked. I'm confused. I want to know what he asked. This is the Lord's Prayer. Agreed?
Amen.
The Lord's Prayer is not our Father. That's not his prayer. He didn't ever say he prayed that. They said, teach us how to pray. He said, when, well, I'm going to tell y'all what I be saying. He said, when you pray, that's what you say. They were teachers. He gave them a premise of what to say. It's got to be about his will. Now you go through and find how many times we find his prayer, their prayer recorded where they prayed it. None. That's what the apostles sit around, they wrote and they record. That's what he told them. John, when all them prayed and all that, they would tell them pray, show the sign through that one of the son, Jesus. They prayed, they were talking about showing signs through him. That wasn't even the prayer he taught them. He got you started. You should have grown and moved on from there. I'm just asking. This is the Lord's Prayer, 17:1. Let me see what the Lord said in his prayer. Listen, son.
These words spake Jesus.
These words spake who?
Jesus.
When?
And lifted up his eyes to heaven and said,
what did he say?
Father,
the
hour is come.
The time is come.
Glorify thy Son.
With who?
That thy Son also may glorify thee.
You glorify me so I can glorify you. Talk to me.
As thou hast given him power over all flesh.
Yes.
That he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him.
And that ties into what he told in the 5th chapter of the book of St. John. Matthew 28 and 18. He said, all power was given me in heaven and earth. In the 5th chapter of the book of St. John, he told us that. As the Father had life in himself, even so he given to the Son to have life well. He did that when he came in creation, when he said, let there be light. Every life generated from the Son, didn't it? So the Son had life in itself. So it only makes sense that the Son, the S-O-N, had life in himself. Because that was only a premise of him, right? Without the Son, was not anything made that was made. So the Son had life in itself. So when he testified, the only way he could be the Son of God, he had to have life in himself. Mm-hmm. Only way, whose son is that up there? Is that the devil's son? Huh? Is that King James' son? Whose son is it? It's God's son. And that son has life in itself. All right, I'm making sure. If you light, you got life. Come on now, let's look. Come on, listen.
And this is life eternal.
And this is life eternal.
That they might know thee.
The only who?
True God.
And who else?
Jesus Christ, whom thou hast sent.
Talk to me, Jesus.
I have glorified thee on the earth.
I glorified thee on the earth.
I have finished the work which thou gavest me
I finished the work you gave me to do.
And now, O Father.
And now, O Father.
Glorify thou me.
Glorify who?
Thou me.
Glorify thou who?
Me.
Who?
Me.
Like what?
With thine own self.
With your own self.
With the glory which I had with thee before the world was.
All right, y'all believe what you want to believe. I'm just going with the man prayer now.
That's right.
How he going to get that? How he going to get that?
Right.
I'll tell you how he going to get it. I don't want that sunshine. I don't want that moon. I don't want no star. I want it all to myself.
That's right. Be like the most.
Give me the glory I had before the foundation of the world. Y'all folks better wake up. Or the time and season, y'all ain't got no need I should write it. Y'all should know that perfectly well. Y'all didn't pay attention to the Lord's Prayer. What glory did he ask for? He asked for, tell me about the glory he said he had with David. When David said what now?
Glorify thou me with thine own self.
Like I was when I was in the ground?
With the glory which I had with thee.
When?
Before the world was.
It's going to have to be dark here. He had to darken everything out so he can shine. Other stuff are getting away. Even Paul testified it. He seen a brightness above the what? He still seen another little light on it, so he got what I need to make sure ain't no light. Let's see now. Is that the 5th chapter, book of Amos, verse 17? Let me make sure. Y'all good?
Amen.
Amos chapter 5. I'm gonna get ready to let y'all. Man, this is enough of this. Come on. Get in there and let y'all go. Man, I'm getting old. There's some more in there right here. Keep going.
Wrong, but young man, wrong.
Listen, this is the 5th chapter of the book of 5th chapter book of Amos at verse 14. Listen to the book.
Seek good and not evil.
Yeah.
That ye may live.
That ye may what?
Live.
Well, we'll say get light. Come on.
And so the Lord, the God of hosts, shall be with you as ye have spoken.
Come on.
Hate the evil and love the good.
Yeah.
And establish judgment in the gate.
Come on.
It may be that the Lord God of hosts will be gracious unto the remnant of Joseph.
It may be now. Come on.
Therefore the Lord, the God of hosts.
So he said gracious to the remnant of who?
Joseph.
Who are they talking about, brother? Got to be Israel. Who did he give the rule for Israel? Ephraim. See, we need to know that, don't we? You know, it was a time period we would have said, well, that ain't got nothing to do with it. Got something to do. He said Joseph. He said Jacob. Ain't that right? So he talk about Israel. Stuff that people we need to know. When you refer to Joseph, you're not talking about us. You're talking about Ephraim. Right. Ephraim was given the rule over who? Israel. What man was in similitude of Yeshua that came from Ephraim that ruled? And Joshua ruled over who? He ruled over the whole tribe, everybody. Signifying what he was going to do when he come running. They had the same name. The same name. Because the same thing, letting us know the ruler was going to come that was going to rule over them. He sprang out of Judah, but he came on the same name and same workings. He was going to rule over all of them. He wasn't just ruling just over Israel. He ruled over Jacob. They weren't separated. Showing again, that's why he said, other sheep I have that's now that fold them, I must also bring. There should be one and one. They have no other ruler. Wasn't no separation. They were one. That was the purpose of putting the stick together. They're going to be one. Listen.
Therefore the Lord, the God of hosts, the Lord saith thus, wailing shall be in all streets, and they shall say in all the highways, Alas, alas.
Yeah.
And they shall call the husbandmen to mourning.
Y'all hear that? Sound like the end of the world. Listen.
And such as are skillful of lamentation.
Look at people used to crying. Come on.
To wailing.
And to wailing. Come on.
And in all vineyards shall be wailing.
In all the what?
Vineyards shall be wailing.
Why?
For I will pass through thee, saith the Lord.
Yeah.
Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord.
Why?
To what end is it for you?
Tell me about the light.
The day of the Lord is darkness.
And what?
Not light.
Talk to me.
As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him.
Yeah.
Or went into the house, and leaned his hand on the wall, and a serpent bit him.
Yeah.
Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness, and not light?
And what kind of light in it?
Even very dark. And no brightness in it.
St. John 17:3.
Amen.
What life it is?
And this is life eternal.
That they might do what?
Know thee.
The only who?
True God.
And who else?
Jesus Christ, whom thou hast sent.
What you want, Jesus?
I have glorified thee on the earth.
You glorified me on the earth.
I have finished the work which thou gavest me to do.
Because you got on the cross, you said, it's finished. Talk, what you want?
And now, O Father.
This is a good child. You and your kids done came home and gave you all A's. All S's in conduct. Everything, clean up the room, did everything you have to do. No, what you want me to do for you?
Glorify thou me with thine own self,
Like what?
with the glory which I had with thee before the world was.
Before I had any more brothers and sisters. Remember how it used to be when it used to be just me and you? Get rid of all the other lights. Sometimes kids, y'all haven't y'all said something, why I couldn't be the only child? That's what Jesus said. Let me be the only son. Let me be the only light. Anybody ever had that brother and sister? I used to say, mother, I wish it was just me. Anybody ever said that? Jesus did. He prayed it. Oh, y'all knew this stuff already. Quit joshing me. There's a ground, Monty. There's a ground. Something to consider in it.
Amen.
Come on, finish that 24th chapter right quick in the book of Matthew. Where you left out verse 23, 22? So I can get y'all out of here. It's 7:40. Chris looked at us and said, man, I supposed to be asleep already. He's doing a good job. Listen to the book.
Verse 30.
Listen.
And then shall appear the Son of the Son of Man in heaven.
Then shall appear the what?
The sign of the Son of Man in heaven.
Yeah.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn.
Come on.
And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
Great glory. That means I got to get rid of all other sun, all other lights. You see the signs of it coming, then you're going to see him appear. Just like it was. So we're going to know it's got to go back to like it was. It's got to be dark and nothing else can be there. Nothing, complete dark. That's why Amy asked a question. It just make conversation. Shouldn't it be like real dark? Shouldn't it be like no light in it at all? We learned this even when we turned around when he was crucified. Wasn't no light shining. Joel told us vapors of smoke. It covered everything. This man, the only thing was shining. This was the only light and they missed it. He said he was in the world and the stupid people didn't even know it. And the world was made by him. He blacked out the moon, all that stuff covered up. Turn it red. Nothing else shine. Put it back. Man was showing us a privilege the whole time. He coming back. Look what he told him in Acts of the Apostle 1:11. Wonderful Savior, isn't it?
Amen.
Isaiah 66, I think I try to finish up there. See that Isaiah 66. Say about 22. I'm trying to let y'all go. Please forgive me tonight. I did not mean to hold y'all this long tonight. Because a lot of people, like I said, I know some of y'all, you weren't on schedule to be here tonight.
Right.
Some people schedule not to be here. I mean, you can't make all of them. You can't make them all. Then you got other days coming up out there, but you want to live on them tomorrow, and you want to live up to them days, don't you? God maybe said, well, I'm going to make you absent. Because God absent you one time, that's it for life. Everyone, we got to get that mindset. Listen to the book.
Which also said, ye men of Galilee, why stand ye gazing up into heaven?
What happened? Come on.
This same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven,
Should do what?
so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven.
Same way man come back in the clouds. You don't see that man in glory when he come back. You don't see that man coming right back here. It do for us to look at while we're here. Before I get finished and you finish that 66, see if that the 10th chapter and the 25th verse of the book of Hebrews.
Kinfolds.
Kinfolds. Hebrews 10:25. Matter of fact, make it verse 19. I ain't never been 25 before I was 19. Although you can't get a 1 till you get a 3.
All right.
Listen to the book.
Having therefore, brethren, boldness to enter into Kadesh by the blood of Jesus, by a new and living way,
Listen.
which he hath consecrated for us through the veil, that is to say, his flesh.
Through the veil. Come on.
And having an high priest over the house of God,
Yeah.
let us draw near with a true heart, in full assurance of faith,
Doing what?
having our hearts sprinkled from an evil conscience,
Yeah.
and our bodies washed with pure water.
When did we know about sprinkling?
Moses
From Moses. What did Moses do?
sprinkled the
Pray for
blood.
people.
When he spoke every precept, took hyssop and took the blood and he sprinkled the people, all the vessels that were used. Now he come along and say, we've been sprinkled. See, if you don't know the law, you hear this sprinkle, what is sprinkle? The sprinkle, that right, snouting dope. That's what they think it is.
Thank you, man.
They don't know, they think a sprinkler system in their front yard. When Moses spoke, he sprinkled the people and all the vessels, everything that was used had to be sprinkled. That's how we learn this.
Right.
Otherwise, this don't have no premise to us. When we don't have something to correlate to the law, where we taking this if we didn't have no knowledge of the law? No, what it means. It was some sprinkling. Drip, 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 drip. We be thinking our body was a porta potty. I don't know what any of this stuff means. Listen.
Let us hold fast the profession of our faith,
See it don't move without what?
wavering.
See that? Can't be, where we learn that from? Hey, see, I'm like y'all. When you hear this stuff, where do you get this from? Not wavering. Who you gonna get it from?
Abraham.
Abraham.
Agonize.
What did he did?
Agonize.
He wasn't unstable in it. What he doing? That's the same thing with us. Paul told us we henceforth be no more what? Toss what?
To and fro.
Waver. Child of waver. Child of change. That's what we learned. Listen, this is how I work. I operate. Now, here things, it's got to correlate back somewhere. Where did this root from? Where did this root from? Listen.
For he is faithful that promised.
Listen.
And let us consider one another to provoke unto love and to good works.
That's what I do. Y'all don't like it. So I don't like where you call me. I don't like where. I'm trying to provoke you to love and to good work. Y'all be worried about how you look, what people going to be thinking about. You ain't think about what you going to look like when you in hell burning. Your pride and everything that you got going straight to hell with you, that's what you better be concerned about. Lord, see enough to correct you, to help you, to stop you, because you can't see for yourself. Every one of us got a Balaam in us. Lord, got to crush us, break us down, embarrass to stop us. Because if you keep going, surely you're going to die. You don't see an angel sitting there swinging a sword? Keep coming, nigga. I'm going to chop your damn head right off your shoulder. Think about this. He had to get in the 23rd chapter of the book of, 23rd chapter of the book of Exodus. Right quick. Let me see right quick. 23. Pick me up 23:20 right quick. We'll come back to 10, where you at, 10:22?
25.
Hold at 10:25. Let's see what he told him. Exodus 23:20 right quick. Listen to the book.
Behold,
I do what?
send an angel before thee
To keep you well.
in the way,
Come on.
and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared.
Y'all need to pay attention and do what, son?
Beware of him.
Do what now?
Beware of him.
You need to be afraid.
Beware of him.
And you need to be afraid. Why?
And obey his voice.
And whatever y'all do, please do what the man tell you. Why?
Provoke him not,
Don't get this man upset. Why?
for he will not pardon your transgression.
Why?
For my name is in him.
Let me tell you how the Lord works. Now I see him tell you, Leon. I got a man sitting here. He don't care who it is. Whoever walk up in it, he knocking them out. He don't care who it is. I done warned you. I done told you. Stupid Leon, what is he going to do? So you know what I do? I got to ask that I get the call to fall on his leg and break it. Because I can't move my word. If you walk and step like I told you, that ain't changing. So he set up an animal that would just set him and crush his leg to try to stop it. That's the kind of love God got for him. So just think about it. Because he told you, I hadn't given it to him to say, this stupid fool, I ain't going to cut it. That's not the command he got. If you come in here, that's it. That's it. You come in, I don't care, mother, child, I don't care who. You come in, Lord said saw fit to put an ass in a break his leg to stop him. Crush it. He's sitting here fighting the very thing that's sitting here. He's already concerned about my broke leg. I can't believe you saying broke my leg. You done broke, now I got to take off 2 weeks from my job. My done shoes ain't going to fit. I just got these slum slippers, and it's finna be a done mess. I'm going to be dragging my leg like Michael. Trying to act and sing at the same time.
Thank the Lord.
Talking about Jacob, Raphael. I don't know what this means. But we just using just how the Lord works sometimes when things happen. Car breakdown, something might happen. Anything come, you can't understand why things happen, why this happened. Because you don't see, I got an angel. He ain't going to pardon your sin. He said he can't do it. What I gave him, he ain't going to move from. He ain't like you. He don't have the mind to decide on. When he said kill Jesse, did he mean sometimes you can kill people with love? You know how we try to rationalize, what did he really mean? I knew exactly what he said. Kill Jesse. If Jesse crossed that line, he didn't tell me, just use wisdom. Wisdom was do what he said. But look how the Lord prepared the animal to stop it. At this point, if you don't heed it, and you get another warning, and you wind up getting killed, will the Lord be done? Mm-hmm. A lot of us in here, the Lord put a lot of stuff to stop us. You don't see me. Some of y'all probably call me the ass. And don't put all your asses on it. That's you good? You're laughing pretty good. You got hit? Because I want to punch you in the eye. But this is what we consider. You don't understand the Lord will have something to try to block you still to stop you. Because if you keep going the way you're going, like he told him, you were surely going to die. Now, angel let him know. He let him know. So that ass seen me right here. Had you kept coming, I was going to chop your head right off your shoulder. Said, but that ass, I was going to spec the ass hadn't seen. But I was going to cut your head right off your shoulder. And some of y'all still don't stop when you hear and you've been told what you ought to do, where you ought to be, how you ought to comply, how you ought to obey God's word. Then you go to hell, the will of the Lord be done. Because he told you, he can't pardon you. He ain't gave it no angel. What angel he gave to go pardon somebody's sin? You forgive him. He gave it to the apostle.
That's right.
Whosoever sin, ain't no angel can come out here and tell you, your sin been forgiven. He can't do that. You got to go see a man. You got to go see a man. Now, one angel flew down here and told nobody his sin, but that ain't happened. He said he can't do that. It's in my name. He can't pardon your sin. I got that man set up right here. He got straight direct. Oh, that got that. Gave that to a man. He told the apostle, he didn't say he gave them authority. Gave them power. So whoever sin you do what? They are what? They remitted. Whosoever sin you retain? That got that. That got that. Y'all better say them. Y'all better be careful. Y'all better be careful. You've been found a lying spirit. God ain't operating outside their word. People met him, but why he do that like that? I hope you keep coming. Chop your darn head off your shoulder. Y'all better quit being stupid. That's why we got to be taught of God.
That's right.
We ain't taught of God. We be sitting here thinking all these abilities. It ain't happening like that. Everybody got strict direct order. We all got to follow them. Hebrew 10.
Family reunion.
Family reunion. We've been there before. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25. Listen to the book.
Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together.
Not doing what now?
Forsaking the assembly of
now,
ourselves.
when we assemble, what you need to be doing? I'm curious. Do we have to be in for the new moon? No, I'm just asking. So Wednesday night, we supposed to. If we don't make Sabbath night, if we be there by Sabbath day, I was just asking. Somebody asked. Not doing what?
Forsaking the assembling of ourselves together.
As to what?
Manner of some is.
Y'all better start checking y'all manners. Like if people tell you, you need to mind your manners. Y'all need to mind your manners now. And so what now?
But exhorting one another.
But warning one another.
And so much the more.
Well, I don't want to keep saying the same thing over and over. You don't want to bother people. You can bother people.
And so much the more.
But you don't just keep being redundant with it over right now?
And so much the more.
As what happened?
As you see the day approaching.
No season.
That's right.
How you get a day? So you don't see the sun? You get your months and your years from. You get your months from the moon. You get your day from the sun. As you see the day, or should we say as you see the sun rising? We see it, the sun is getting closer.
That's right.
Isaiah 66, verse 22. I'm just saying, we just catch it. He said, you don't have no reason. I shouldn't have to write it. Y'all, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to probably go sound and write a letter. Let everybody know about the day approaching. Should I have to do that? Shouldn't be no what? Why? You should already know this. 66, about 22.
Amen.
Listen to the book.
For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me,
What happened, son?
saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain.
Whose seed is in itself. Come on.
And it shall come to pass
What gonna happen?
that from one new moon to another,
I'm confused. I'm just confused. That from what now?
from one new moon to another,
What's gonna happen?
and from one Sabbath to another,
What's gonna happen?
shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord.
So when we gonna start? Once he get back?
Do it now.
Let's start putting things. He even talking about them by reason of exercise. That's all we're doing. We're getting ready. You say what you want to. If you're in a sport you don't do, you can get out of shape. Don't start putting this stuff into practice now. He kept telling they're going to do it in the land whether they go to possess it. They ain't start doing it before they get there. It's going to be hard to start implementing something they ain't been doing. That's a lot of stuff to start 600-something, approximately about 600-something law. I'm going to just jump automatically start doing. You probably need to start now. Because Moses did not take them into the land. Yet he told them in the 18th chapter. Let's see 18 in one of the book of Leviticus right quick.
Right.
Let me just see something right quick. Leviticus 18 and 1 right quick. Y'all all right?
Amen.
This is Leviticus 18 and 1. I'm curious what they might say. Listen to the book.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying,
What did he tell them?
Speak unto the children of Israel,
And do what now?
say unto them,
Yeah.
I am the Lord your God.
Okay, that's all he had to say. That was it.
After the doings of the land of Egypt,
Yeah.
wherein ye dwelt,
Yeah.
shall ye not do.
Once you come into the land, when you go in the land to possess it.
After the doings of the land of Egypt,
Yeah.
wherein ye dwelt,
Yeah.
shall ye not do.
When you think you're supposed to implement that?
When you hear it, you know.
When y'all gonna start? Oh, watch it in. Let me tell you something. It's getting late in the evening. It's getting real late. All the signs are showing the stress of the nation, people perplexed. California get hit 8 inches of rain in one day. After just having a drop. I was looking at my computer today. I was getting ready to check my email. In Colorado, 104 cars pile up. They say it's stretched over approximately over 2 miles long. 104 car pile up. They said they had a drop of a snowstorm that just hit them right quick all of a sudden. 104 cars over 2 miles long. And you know what people trying, like we figuring, how that happen? Would that be perplexity? Man, there's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
People flooding, stuff going on we ain't never heard of before. Nationwide, look at all these people now. And you know what? This is the thing, though. Once them uprisings start up, they never stop. Those not the only country. You know what they got to look at now, the UN, everybody come together? How long before your country start unraveling? The U.S. is on the brink of a national disaster.
Yep.
There's no way in the world you're going to be able to keep us here with all these systems. Just being honest, it ain't about just everybody that's of God. There's a lot of people that ain't going to go, and this stuff going to uprock, and people start looking at the government is not serving the people. Unlike who's going to be the people to bring the uprising, it's going to be white people. Nigga ain't going to do nothing. Tell what nigga going to be doing. Best Buy better watch out, and Walmart. Nigga going to be in Best Buy. Yep. Whole world bringing disaster, no power, trying to steal a done TV.
Trying to get a TV.
Y'all know them. Trying to get the Xbox 3. I'm going to tell y'all, if you want to keep a nigga out, Best Buy, Walmart, and Macy's. Everything a nigga gonna get ain't gonna be nothing he can use in no brink of no disaster. Right. Who needs some bill when they go into war? Just be what? White people are not happy. Unlike us, white people already been gathering up billions. Y'all said doomsday, nigga reality show all stupid. We white folks showing with their stuff here. Y'all here killing alligator in Alaska with all kind of gunshot. Look at that reality show.
Yep.
They showing you real stuff in Doomsday.
Yep.
Bill and Castle showing you we can go underground. I taught my kids how we got armored cars. We can catch helicopters coming. We got bunkers. We got food. These folks know what's in the house. They done, all the niggas getting killed. Except for us. I'm going to teach y'all. We're going to do a thing. Everybody say sell, out. We selling out.
All right. Out of here.
We much too pretty to get shot. They tell me, somebody, come on, nigga, we all like, yeah, go. Sell out, we gonna tell.
That's right.
They don't get us killed.
That's right.
We gotta go back to Jerusalem.
That's right.
Get no bullet holes in anybody. No, come on, Thomas Smith, we behind. Oh, nigga, y'all had to let me go. You push me to get me killed.
That's right.
They think they got a flunky fool. I got more sense than these people got. Get me killed for no doing can of tuna fish. My black man no waiting on Yeshua. All I want y'all to do, we got to anchor down, get our mind set, and be prepared. Man, this thing breaking up. And the sad part, y'all ain't paying attention. This is all nation again. Listen, ain't on the country. Afghanistan got problems. It ain't with us either.
Yep.
The Taliban fighting their government. All these governments are unstable. Look, it ain't just them. Where was Hugo Chavez? Where was he at? Venezuela in a minute. They finna change government. They got Filipino countries that's coming up. The people in China not happy. Oh, it's coming around. And you know he told about all this stuff? This is just the beginning. Now, we've been sitting around here being stupid, missing service, trying to do everything else we're doing, trying to make progress out here in the world. And we know we got to exist. But it's time for y'all to wake up and use y'all head. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to need to get rid of some of y'all because y'all dead weight. Y'all not waking up. Y'all not paying attention. We got to watch this stuff. Now, if anything he done told to do, as we see the day approaching, it's going to make more sense for us to make sure we're in attendance when this word is going forth. Stop laying in your charge of, well, tonight he probably ain't going to preach much. Well, one of the ministers preaching. Who preaches? Well, Zach preaching ain't really, or Minister John or Magnum preaching. What's going to send them to hell? He asked them to come with who preaching. He said, not forsaken. What send folk to hell? Well, send you to hell when y'all start looking at, well, who preaching? You're not looking at the obedience. The obedience is what he's looking for. He's looking for an obedient people. When you're obedient, let me tell you the difference. Lord, I know this ain't just, it's not the difference between me and a whole lot of other preachers. I will hear, I will listen, and I will move, and I will walk in it. A lot of people not going to do that. They're going to hear, they're going to avoid, they're going to try to skim around, they're going to have something they're going to do, they're going to have too much pride that they won't change or move to make adjustment and make sure they save. And make sure it's about these people, because people, I mean, let's just be proud. I ain't the first person to say it. Everybody say it, then they come on later on their lie. If I'm a liar, it'll come out. Bottom line, a lot of people not going to do it. The difference is there's a lot of people I told y'all with a lot more knowledge, a whole lot of interpretation, a whole lot of revelation, and let them tell a whole lot of stuff, but you can't use them. There's a lot of people, I refused them. Too much knowledge, too much education, too much good grammar conversation, the word become ignorant to them. It took him to get a dummy that sat down and said, well, this is what the book say. They're not afraid to stand flat-footed and tell y'all when you're wrong. Everybody don't want to do that. Now, we got an opportunity to do something a lot of our forefathers didn't do and won't ever get a chance to do. That's make sure you get the Spirit.
That's right.
Now, y'all say him be stupid. This man have told y'all not forsaken. Not when we're supposed to be gathering, and especially when we see the day approaching, which means we know the sun. Day is sun. Lucifer is what word? Interpretation. Day what?
Day star.
So I see the day approaching. Which going to be who? I'm seeing Lucifer coming. Day star. Why would I not? Where the carcass is, the day approaching. Where else I'm going to be? Why is what he said gathering? Why? We home in. Light gonna draw the other light. You put these lights together, these lights don't, they say, man, that's helping me out. They like, cut your nigga, cut out. They like, man, we working together. With your light and my light, we put this together, man, we light up a whole room. We get these lights illuminated, we light up the whole world. Make sure y'all get focused. Finish that 66:22 so I let them go.
Amen.
Come on.
For as the new heavens and the new earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith the Lord, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord.
And what's going to happen?
And they shall go forth.
And listen what they're going to do.
And look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me.
Y'all hear that? The one that didn't do it. This is in our law. Do we have in our law that tell us that we have to appear for the new moon? We got it right here. Just told us that we were going to do it. This is the law. When we go back, listen. When we go back through him, we find their behavior. This is our law. Don't get yourself caught up on statutes and just leave it there. We learned when they told us about crucifying Jesus, why they told us they couldn't do it. According to our law, they couldn't put their brother to death. Where did they get that from? Go right back to, we going right back concerning Joseph, what Judah told him. So we shouldn't kill our brother. Now they have enough sense to read back and look. They went back, listen, things they didn't know. You had to go back to read the writings to see what it said. They went back in the writings to see could they find pattern or find something right. If they did it, that's sad. That's why we refer to them as the fathers. It's certain things that father leave people on the planet. They'll leave property or whatever. And they'll say, so one of the kids will come and say, nah, daddy, he won't want us to do that. Because I remember before daddy said that we were told to do something, or he left. We go back to look at what the writing said. They'll go back to court. See, they leave some documents saying what they wanted. We go back to look for behavior. I think what it said, you know daddy didn't do that. We didn't do that. He ain't never said, but we knew what the pattern of behavior was. When him and mama were living what they had, they never had us out here doing it. We got something to hold of that. They said, we're going to have now, we're going to start bringing liquor. They said, no, well, we had them before. You know how big mama and was. They ain't like no drinking. They ain't never said we couldn't. We know they didn't have it here. And we're going to do the same thing now. We're not going to have no drinking here. That's why they went back through the law. They want to see what big mama, what big dad and them did. Kind of woman, what about a woman out doing? Well, Sarah obeyed Abraham, she called him Lord. Big mama called him Lord. Go back through the word. That's our law. Anytime we go, we find a behavior. Well, it makes sense we're going to come and do it later, but we ain't going to do it now. They going to come before him. What they going to do? One, all days going to come before him and do what now?
Look upon the carcasses of
no,
the
back
men.
me up. From one new moon.
And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another.
And from what now?
One Sabbath to another.
Well, we might well just start doing the Sabbath too. They'll wait till it comes up the kingdom. I don't used to keep no Sabbath now. That's all supposed to happen when the new earth and new heaven get him. What they going to come and do?
Shall all flesh come to worship before me.
Well, I don't used to worship God either. Let's just wait. So we're supposed to do all that when the new heaven and the new moon get, when the new earth get him. I'm doing just let go with behavior. It makes sense to start up band. We had someone make that right. I see you, Rudy, still hanging here. Stay faithful. Once that clown cut all you to come and tell me grandma fired the bell and all that stuff, I'm saying you got stronger. I ain't just saying that. I seen so much growth because sometimes it be like, well, the year King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord. And that sometimes folks will be a weight to you.
That's right.
We trying to look like they be the strong when the whole time find they the one weak at war.
Yeah.
Boy, we're going to get hung. His mama in a bell. And his mama, they rang that bell. And that woman stayed in the bell. And they rang that bell and she stayed in the bell. And when they rang that bell again, she felt like a turd and splattered on the ground.
Come on with it.
And everybody said, Mama, I remember that the love that you gave me. Oh, they were Tupac? Mama. Clowns. That being honest with you, I'm this word coming on. We read our folks this. The Lord remove folks sometimes because people be a handicap to you. I'm being husband and wife, something these folks will be a handicap to you. A lot of times you be thinking, folks, you had to keep dragging, you wind up carrying folks, and they wind up being a hindrance and a hold, they'll hold you back. Lord, let them go. You realize it's all me now. Ain't no excuses. Ain't that right? Lord do things, but put things happen for a reason. Folks be holding people back. And now we sit here, this man telling us what all flesh gonna come before him to worship. Gonna make sense. I'm gonna come. Everybody gonna come, and gonna look on the carcass of the men that transgressed.
That's right.
I done told y'all what you supposed to do. You transgressing, you ain't doing it. So we gonna be looking at you later. Listen, what's gonna happen to those men that transgress.
But their worm shall not die.
And they're what?
Neither shall their fire be quenched.
Where you think they're gonna be at? They're gonna be in Mexico drinking tequila. At least da-be-da. Singing Merry Christmas, nigga. This ain't no making of no tequila. You gonna be in hell. Those worms are maggots.
That's right.
He said every sacrifice shall be what?
All through with fire.
Hot maggots on your maggot behind. I'm gonna salt you with the maggots. Now you want to sit here and be in this condition? No. Then start obeying. I gotta look to see how I'm gonna do it. That's your decision. This your soul though. This what gonna, let me tell you something. This is gonna separate the wheat from the tare now. We keep going. There's a lot of folks sitting here. The right situation come, people start dying off. I ain't gonna be able to do it. We start getting command. Folks start having to make these appearances. They start dying off. I start telling to do with these husband and wife. So y'all better start saying, well, start dying off. They ain't start. I ain't gonna be calling. I finally let on chump calling. Well, you won't be able to do it. Somebody want to pull you off. I know I gotta obey their word to be saved. If I obey the word, God gonna say. If I do what God say, God will do the rest.
That's right.
First thing to do is quit. The folks don't even try. Folks don't even try to stand and trust God. You don't know how God will work if you take a stand. First thing to do, quit. They already been in their heart to go to hell. Instead of telling me I'm going to take a stand for my soul, why are you standing for your soul? First thing they do is quit. You told her, I ain't going to nothing. You can't do nothing. He said, without me, you can do nothing.
That's right.
It ain't never been about you doing nothing, nigga. By the trusting God, this is what your word says. I'm going to trust God. He talking about the holy women. Oh, what did they do? What did they do, Ryan? Where you going to sit around some old knucklehead nigga telling you to do something? You got to trust God.
That's right.
Oh, bad decision, nigga. He done told you to do something. I got to trust God.
That's right.
I got the gone, I got the fall, and I got to be. I'm trusting in God. Sit around, you ain't no way where you going to be able to obey your husband. You need God in your doing life.
That's right.
He let you know how they did it, how the women did it old time. They were just dumb. They wasn't dumb. They trusted in God. How I'm going to make it? I'm out to trust in God. Me, Shadrach, and one bad nigga on talking about, we were firemen. Put me in that nigga. I asked my way out. God is able.
That's right.
Everybody came through trusted God. Oh, what's I was going to do? I'm a nigga. I know I'm going to burn up. Of course that's what you're going to do. But when I trust in God, that's the difference. When they come here to do my job, I got to get up here 3 times a week. How you think I'm going to do it?
Trusting in the Lord.
All me. I got to trust God. 3 times a week. Get ready for feast day, whatever it takes. Got to trust God. He need that sometimes. You say, Lord, what in the world you going to say? Well, they ain't going to be your place. I'm going to speak what's got to be spoke to the people.
That's right.
That's our confidence. When are we going to trust God? 1 Corinthians 4:14. This is it. Get ready and grab them baskets. Thank the Lord. It was not my intent to hold y'all there long.
Thank the Lord.
Folks start slapping. Brother Meager to make it every new moon. Everybody on the gas done got short and everything else. Everybody tell me, I used to have full ride women. Used to help me. That's when Lord show us sometimes he moved on folks. That's supposed to be your strength. One thing I want to do, and I said it other, most sincere, and I said that though rooted. Man, you sure stepped it up. I'm so proud. Man, I look with a whole different light. I'm serious. I see some of folks, somebody friend or somebody break off or something else. That show you, man. I don't know want nobody to hold me, but I don't want nobody to be my going or my stopping.
That's right.
Lord in him don't be my going or my. I'll be in trouble. I'm out to beg you. How's someone do it, Leon, without you? That's how I always done it. No, man, I had to make it, man. I had to press my way.
That's right.
I'm serious, man. These folks start, they don't see it in themselves saying, man, it looked like more or less they were carrying me. I got to push my way. Be like, man, thank the Lord. Lord, give somebody and help make the right. Thank the Lord. But guess what if he don't? Thank the Lord. Every time, man, I don't be counting on nobody, man, I learn that, man, you can't count. Anything y'all drop, don't want to do, I'm going to pick it up and keep going. Man, I don't want that spirit, man. What I'm going to do, you don't stop. Nigga, I got to stop. Nigga, please. Please, I got to press my way in. That man told me the Lord and the prophet were under John since that time, the kingdom of God, they preach. And what every man do, brother?
Press it way into.
I ask you how you doing. What I want to hear y'all brother say you doing. I'm pressing. I'm pressing. That's what the book said. We pressing. I'm going to move some stuff. Y'all, man, we move furniture. We'll move buildings and cars. We'll move a country. Man, I'm pressing my way. Y'all hear me?
Amen.
1 Corinthians 4:14. Some of them looking at you probably going to tell me later, something, yeah, you right. I ain't never thought I was wrong. Word ain't never been wrong. They're telling the truth. What am I saying I ain't been saying?
You done said it before.
This new tonight?
Nope.
When you don't say something about something a long time, everybody just get dwindle off, down. I'm working on something. Brother, my used to miss a new moon. How many times say, man, bro, we said we're going to make it, we're going to try to make it, heck do we all say. That's why you can't make none of these guys. Man, see if you be there. If you don't, then will of the Lord. I can't be where me and Brandon make no pact and he break. Well, Brandon, you didn't make it this time. That's Brandon's problem. Brandon ain't trying to go where I'm trying to go. You must try to be so saved, as saved as it take to get in.
That's right. That's right.
Whatever saved is so saving to save.
That's right.
Over saved.
That's right. Up there.
Isn't that right? Whatever it take, I got to get in. 1 Corinthians 4:14. Listen to the book.
I write not these things to shame you,
But
as my beloved sons,
what you do?
I warn you.
I'm trying to do it one. Everybody, I got someone with pressing ain't wait for new money. I died off. I know it's a prayer, man. It's a hard prayer. And I appreciate it. When you pray, you know what that make her do? Man, I said we got to put another notch in our belt. Got to go to work and I'm pressed. I say, man, you folks got to go to work in the morning. These folks pray. Got to put another notch in our belt. Every one of them, that's what we do. We make it tight on the other one. That brother got to come along, got to make it a little tighter. Isn't that right? That's good, brother. Thank the Lord. I appreciate y'all. I'm out of town.